What it is, what it do, it's your boy Malu, and I'm coming to you with a brand new episode from Drink Mo. And today, we'll be discussing the day that niggas stopped balling. Let's go.
Sisters, niggas, ladies, crackers.
Check me out, family. A lot of us know that in 1865, slavery, for the most part, ended in the United States of America. What we usually don't know is, for the next 12 years, black people balled out of control. And I think we really need to analyze this, man. So when you look at black people, we were slaves for 246 years in this country. You know what I mean? They said the first black arrived in 1619. We got free in 1865. That was 246 years of torture, of torment, of belittlement, of dehumanization, of, as I always say, just some skullduggerous fuckery. So you would imagine that after all of that, after 246 years of just foul treatment, that we would be downtrodden, that our backs would be bent, and that niggas would be walking all over us. But in fact, from 1865 to 1877, we were actually doing phenomenal. I'm just going to give you a few examples before I explain what went wrong. So after the Civil War ended, everyone looked to Lincoln to be that guy to guide the ship. He passed the Freedmen's Bureau, did a couple things here and there, whooped the bam. But as we all know, Lincoln got bodied. And after Lincoln gets bodied, black codes pop up. The black codes is how niggas supposed to act now that you're free. We wasn't having that shit. So being the largest voting bloc in the Republican Party, we passed the 14th Amendment. You're all welcome. Gay people, you're welcome. Women, you're welcome. Essays, Chinese, Asians that's facing hate today, you're welcome. And that was really the name of the game of Reconstruction. We would get great gains. They would push us a few steps back. We would get great gains. They push us a few steps back. There was actually 16 elected on a national level. There were 14 people elected to Congress. We had 2 senators. We literally had hundreds of people occupying statewide seats, and we had over 2,000 people occupying local elected positions. Just to name a handful, the only black governor we ever had until the 1990s was actually PBS Pinchback, who governed Louisiana. Along with Pinchback, you also had Alonzo, who was a lieutenant governor in South Carolina. If you actually look at this picture of the Louisiana Constitutional Convention in 1968, just literally 3 years following the end of slavery, look at us in this picture, dog. Look at us stunting. Although every single state wasn't predominantly black, you did have some predominantly black states like South Carolina, Mississippi, and Louisiana. And that's where you'll see the majority of black politicians coming out of. Although that's not to say that they wasn't balling in the North Carolinas or the Georgias, Alabamas, and whatnot. And you had a lot of predominant people come out of this space, man. You had representatives like Richard Kane, who helped start Paul Quinn College, which is HBCU here in Texas. You had Joseph Rainey, who they said his family actually came from Haiti as slaves when the Haitian Revolution happened. The plantation owners brought a couple slaves with them. His people was amongst them. He became one of the first black elected officials in South Carolina. You have Robert Brown Elliott, who was a congressman in South Carolina. You have Robert Smalls. If you might have heard Robert Smalls, he's the guy that actually stole the Confederate ship during the Civil War to free himself, you feel me? And the list goes on and on. Just thousands of black men clearly being aided by black women, even though they couldn't legally run or vote at that time. And these brothers were really pushing for our people. Now, they all weren't Malcolm X's. A lot of them were Obama-style niggas. But nonetheless, this is fresh out of slavery, bro. They didn't even think we had this capability. Another thing, just a heads up to all of America, you're welcome. Black people gave y'all free public school education. America tries to tote this public school thing as something that they just decided upon. No, niggas. When we got out of slavery, we refused to pay to be educated, but we also demanded that you motherfuckers educate us. So here comes free education for blacks. Whites, especially in the South, who are illiterate as fuck, wasn't having that. So the U.S. government made it free education for all. So to conclude, what happened, man? What happened? Why do we stop balling? Let me explain. In 1877, there was a presidential election between a guy named Hayes and a guy named Tillman. One was Republican, one was Democrat. It really doesn't matter because they was on the same team at the end of the damn day. But along this election process, the Republican lost. And, Lincoln was a Republican, so they were like the progressive ones at the time. So when the Republican candidate lost, they was like, look, man, if you let us keep the presidency, we'll actually give you back the South. And that's the day that niggas stop balling.
Fuck! Shit! 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 Bricks! Shit! 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 Shit!
Drink more water, darling.